Welcome to Shorty's SuperCoach, and today we're going to have a bit of a discussion about what you should be looking for when picking your defenders in 2016 for SuperCoach. I'm going to run through each division of our ground. Obviously, start with the defenders, and I'll be doing the mids, rucks, and forwards. Just a brief chat on what I look for, certain positions and price values and premiums, mid prices, etc. The sort of structure, I guess you'd say, that we should really be looking for 2016 and a general guide. First off, in the defence, I must say that I'm very hesitant in spending big dollars down back. Reason being, it's the lowest point scoring section of our ground, and I guess they're defenders, aren't they, for the most part? Yes, you get some offensive players, which are the ones we look for, but as a general rule, they don't score as high as any other position. First off, you got to look for those mid defenders. In the past, it's been Deledio, Goddard, Mitchell. This year it's Jared McVeigh. So as far as I'm concerned, you lock in those players. If you can find a defender that's going to play that offensive sort of halfback role, or even in the midfield really, which there are a couple that could be playing through the midfield, they're the ones you really lock in. I'm often a bit hesitant as well to pick key defenders. I know last year was somewhat of an exception at times, with Hurley playing very good footy. Alex Rance is another one who dominated at times. Tom McDonald as well averaged some good numbers. That's partly due to the game changing as well. Opposition defenders sort of running off their man, and a lot of ball down in the back line and rebounding in weight of numbers, and intercept kings are often, your taller sort of players. But I am hesitant to pick them because naturally you can get those players that just lock down on the odd game, and that's all you need, just a poor game here and there to really bring their average down. I'm always more keen on picking players who probably average around that 90 or 95 mark, I think, and you know that week in, week out, they're going to bring you consistency. Another reason I'm a bit scared of spending big bucks down the back line, I think when you look at the midfield, you go, bang, I can spend 600k on this bloke, and he's going to deliver me big numbers more often than not, because you pay him what you get. In the back line, it can be a roller coaster, that top 6 to 8 defenders we look at, and I should touch on that. In picking your defenders, only spend big money if you truly believe they're going to be a top 10 defender come year's end. That's a top 10 in the scoring averages, and obviously you need them playing plenty of games. Reason being, I think there's no point spending cash if you just think, oh yeah, he's consistent, he'll average me 85. We need more than that. I think the guide you should be looking at is somewhere in the 90s. 95 plus, I don't think there'll be a stack of defenders who average 95 plus. Sure, if you want to get greedy, look for that, but I think as picking defenders, we should be pretty content to receive a 90 to 95 average, I think. That will build a pretty strong team if you can start with 3, maybe 4 who average consistent numbers, and then you can see who are the bolters. Is Kolajasny really dominating? Is Brodie Smith playing through the midfield? Then you can really jump on them. But be sure to spend your money wisely. It's like the stock market. I mean, you don't buy shares in something that's you're not too sure on. You don't spend big money unless you know you're going to get a good return. So don't whack out big amounts of cash for a player that you think he should go okay. Be very careful in the back line, because it doesn't have the same assurity as we do in the midfield with all those guns running through the midfield. So be careful on that front. But yeah, bear in mind, me personally, I think I'm only going to run with maybe 3 or 4 genuine premiums, and some people would maybe up for debate if they are premiums. I'm looking at the likes of Brodie Smith at the moment. Is he going to be a premium? It's a good question. So I'm certainly not splashing cash down the back line. Bartel's a guy I'm thinking about, but be careful, I think. I mean, out of all the divisions, as I've said, spend the least amount of money per player in the back line, I feel. Just because you can bank on midfielders. Rucks, you pretty much have a good idea, and there's a bit of value this year. And forwards, there's a plethora of midfield forward options. So I think you can put your money there. And definitely in the back line, lock in McVeigh. And from there on out, I wouldn't be suggesting anyone with a great deal of confidence. You can check who I've got in my team at the moment. I released a team about a week ago. But, as I say, be careful. It's the lowest scoring position. They fluctuate from year to year more often. Malcheski dominates one year. Last year was Heath Shaw. There's no guarantees that you can bank on those guys to redo it. history has shown that in the back line, the pure defenders can be a little up and down. So bear that in mind, lock in your mid defenders, but other than that, let's wait for the NAB challenge and see who may be getting midfield roles, because they have to be offensive players. So that's a bit of my thoughts on what we should be looking for when picking our defenders. I'll be doing the midfielders next, but definitely give me some thoughts on what you look for when you pick your defenders. Give the channel a subscribe, give the video a like, and let me know any thoughts you have that I could talk about and discuss through the pre-season, because that's what it's all about. I mean, I have things I like to talk about, but at the end of the day, you know, you want to be talking about what the listeners really want to hear. So give me your thoughts on all that, and I'll have plenty more SuperCoach content coming your way.